Hey everybody, Justin here with Everything Aquarium, back with another aquarium video. Hope you guys are all doing well as usual. We're going to try something a little bit different today, and by that I mean like a quick format style video. So cutting straight to the chase, going over some products, just busting things out. I want to see if you guys enjoy this better, getting straight to the point rather than me ramble, which I probably still will do a little bit in this video. Can't help that, but anyways, let's jump into it. By the title, we're talking about substrates, how to choose it, what's right for you, what's not right for you, what's easy, what's not. So when we're talking about substrate, we're talking about, tank style. What are the fish like? What kind of plants do you have? Is it planted? Or are you looking for something just super simple, almost maintenance free? A few things like that go into it. So let's start with some of the basics. Format of substrate is no substrate at all. This is a commercial style setup made basically to either quarantine fish, have more water quantity, as in, I go to a fish store, I see a fish I want right then and there. I'm able to bring it home, put it into a tank, and then, get it set up, built for it, and that way I don't miss out on the sale of that fish or whatever's going on. I can buy it at that exact moment. Super simple to maintain. Obviously, we can see all the waste that goes down to the bottom that can easily be gravel vacked out. Excuse me for all the ums. It's also good for plecos because it can grow more algae, more brown algae, that diatom or whatever they call that. Brown algae, stuff like that the plecos will enjoy. So you can grow a lot on that if that's the style you're doing. I have seen some people do it. It's not my forte. This is accidental algae, but let's not ramble on here. Super simple to maintain. Obviously, some of the perks to it, like I said. Some of the cons to it, the downside of things is it's less surface area for bacteria to grow, obviously. It's not ideal for the fish. Some of these fish, like these guys, prefer a sandy substrate, such as the South Americans, which is pretty much all I have right now. They prefer that substrate in there. Most fish will prefer a substrate. Another con to it is, obviously it's not aesthetically pleasing, but again, in this commercial style setup, that's not what we're necessarily looking for. And another con to it is you can't grow rooted plants. You can grow epiphytes, such as that Java fern back there, but you can't necessarily root anything because there's no substrate. So that's a few of the basic things. With that, let's move over to your basic inert substrate. Talking about an inert substrate, we're talking about a substrate such as sand, gravel, stuff like that does not affect the water column or nitrates or parameters, anything like that. Just to list a few examples. Again, this is an inert coarse sand. This is definitely a beginner-friendly style sand. You don't want anything too fine particled when you're starting off. You can have issues with your filtration. And it's just a mess. It can be a mess. So yeah, not ideal. So definitely recommend a more coarse sand or gravel. Easy to vacuum. It will hold bacteria as well. You can plant in it specific plants that don't necessarily need an extreme amount of nutrients through the roots. But again, there's ways to get around that, such as adding plant tabs and stuff like that. That can get you around that factor. But that's something to dive into more in a later video. Another idea for inert substrate is, just a non-planted tank, obviously, such as African cichlids. They obviously will eat most plants if you're familiar with them. So just a basic sandy inert substrate will work well for them, and it won't alter the water parameters very much at all, if not at all. Most of the time, it won't. Also, well, for a planted tank such as epiphytes, like these Java fern, Anubias nana petite, all that stuff will grow just fine without a nutrient-rich substrate because it feeds off the water column and not the substrate itself. So definitely recommend that for beginners. To the more advanced, intermediate side of things, this is a nutrient-rich volcanic substrate. This is a UNS Contra soil, and obviously it costs a little bit more, so it can burn up the wallet pretty quick. Obviously, when we're talking about this style of substrate, we're talking about the plants that feed heavy on or feed heavy with the roots, such as this grass here. Crips obviously do well in it. Most any type of rooted plant will do well or will do better in a nutrient-rich substrate. I also have some plant tabs in here which assist in that, but the reason this is a little bit more advanced and not as beginner-friendly is because it can alter the water parameters by spiking ammonia and nutrients in the water, causing nuisance algae breakout, things such as that. It can, again, cause an ammonia spike, which can harm fish if you don't catch it quick enough or you're not experienced enough to understand how that works. So definitely don't recommend this for beginners. just for the simple fact that it can be a little bit more of a hassle to maintain and deal with. So as you progress in the hobby, you can move into this. I recommend moving into it when you get some more experience, but to start, again, stick with that inert gravel style substrate or bare bottom. To conclude today's video, we got bare bottom style tank, inert style substrate, and a nutrient rich substrate. Bare bottom, good for that commercial style setup, good for hospital tanks, good for that extra water quantity when you want it and you want to get that fish right then and there. You got the space available. Easy to maintain. Obviously, we're talking about the inert substrate again. Easy to maintain as well, good for beginners, works with almost anything as long as you got the basic idea of how everything works. No problem there. Definitely recommend that to start with. Aesthetically pleasing as well. Obviously, you have a substrate. And then again, you're nutrient rich. Definitely recommend for intermediate folks who have a little bit more experience dealing with nutrients in the water column, stuff like that. Just your general idea of fish tanks. Once you build that up, definitely recommend that. So anyways, guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for all the love. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff if you want to see some more of these videos. That's it for now, guys. We'll see you later.